everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a follow-up from my previous video of guinea pig care and facts. So in the first half of this video I've covered different things to what I'm going to put in this half of the video. I just didn't want the video to be so long. This video is mainly aimed towards if you're going to get a guinea pig and you don't know much about them. It's just covering the basics and some things you want to know before getting a guinea pig. In the previous video I mentioned about the health checks you must do, their diet, their lifespan, a bit about bonding, but I'm going to expand on that today, whether you should have a female or male pig, cage requirements, whether an indoor or an outdoor cage is suitable for you, and whether you should be using fleece or shavings. In today's part of the video I'm going to be covering bonding, which I said I'm going to expand on from last video, bathing, nail trimming, enrichment, spot cleaning, which I mentioned the word in the first video, I'm just going to explain what it is today, daily interaction, thorough cleaning, grooming, breeds, the size of an adult pig, free roam, foraging, water bottle or a water bowl, and handling and taming. First of all, I'm going to cover bonding as it is really important between you and your pig and other pigs. It's always a good thing to have a good bond between you and your pig. You want your pig to trust you and know that they are safe with you. You also need to be a reliable pet owner. Your pets are relying on you to look after them because they can't look after themselves. So if you're going to see it as a chore, don't get a pet. Having a pet should be enjoyable and you should do it for their sake and not your own sake. Just because you don't want to clean them that day doesn't mean you don't do it because it's not fair on the pet. Or you don't want to interact with them. They're going to think, where's my owner gone? And they're going to get lonely. When bonding with your pig, I would say it's easier to bond with them as a baby because they're growing up with you and you're like their parent. You can bond with them by leaving scents of you in their cage, whether that's like a bit of a jumper or sitting with them. It's something that's going to comfort them over time when they know it's you and not a stranger. Whilst I'm bonding, I'm going to be covering taming at the same time. I personally put my hand into their enclosure and I let them come to me rather than chasing them around the cage because it's not very nice for them to be chased around by something because they're going to lose your trust. One thing that I do that not many people will agree with, and that is interacting with them before the 24 hours is up. As soon as I get my pets home, I interact with them. And they say it's going to stress them out, but I've never had an issue. And with every one of my animals that I've done that with, they've been bonded to me within the first few days. I have them crawl over my hand. I even fed them by hand, which is another technique you can use. You can use a longer carrot, feed them, and the shorter it gets, the closer they're going to get to you. So they're building trust to come near you. Eventually, when you do get the trust from them, you can go and try to stroke them, but do not force it on them. As long as they're okay with it and they're not jumping around, then you can stroke them. It's like a boundary for them. If they're jumping around, then obviously they're not liking it and you want to leave them be until it is the time they're comfortable with you stroking them. When bonding pigs together, whether that's two pigs or multiple pigs, it's something you need to keep an eye on over time. I bonded my previous pigs because they were all together as babies and they all fought, so I had to separate them all, and eventually I had to bond them again. With my bonding, I had two different stories. I had one pig that wouldn't bond at all and he would always fight. So he stayed on his own for the rest of his life after being split. Whereas with two other pigs that I had, I would start off with them outside the cage being together because if you're going to put a different pig into their enclosure, they are going to fight. And I say they are going to. They might not, but there's high chances they will because they're territorial. It's a stranger coming into the house at the end of the day. So having them outside of their house is going to really help for them not to fight back. Obviously, you want to keep a close eye on them in case they do fight. You want to split them up and you can keep trying. I did keep trying with my pig that fought, but nothing happened. These two pigs that I was bonding though that did get along, they never had a fight, and eventually after a few days they were living in the same cage together. Typically, a group of females are meant to get on really well with a neutered male as it's a natural thing in the wild. Whereas, mentioning in my last video, males don't typically get along together once they hit piggy puberty as they become territorial. You don't seem to get this as much with females and they tend to bicker rather than fight. I'm not saying that they're not going to fight because not every pig's the same, they're all different. Some like the company and some won't, and they will have to live on their own, which nobody wants to do, but sometimes it's the thing. So having a companion for your guinea pigs, always a go-to because they are social animals and may become lonely on their own. Next topic is bathing, and this completely depends on whether your pigs are indoors or outdoors and whether they are long hair or short hair. Not everyone will bathe their guinea pigs, but over time they can get a greasy feel, which can be good to keep the heat on them, but I wouldn't like to feel like that myself. I had a short hair guinea pig that I'd only have a bath like once a year, and then I had a long hair who would have like 3 baths a year because his hair would get so long and matted. He would have to get it cut around his bum because it would soak in the wee and have a bath, and that water was yellow from the wee. Whereas with my shorter hair guinea pig, he only had a bath once a year because of the grease he was going to build up. Do not use your own shampoo on them as they have sensitive skin. There are guinea pig safe shampoos out there, and there are some for certain things, whether that's fleas or allergies. And you could probably even get purple shampoo for them if you've got a white pig that's looking a bit yellowy. I know they do it for dogs, they probably do it for guinea pigs. When bathing them though, you do not want to go past their ears and get it in their ears as they've got really sensitive hearing and ears. I said ears so many times then. Whilst I'm on about cleaning them, I'm going to mention grooming, which in theory you should groom them before bathing them. Just because when you're going to cut their hair, a lot of hair is going to be stuck to them, so when you give them a bath, then it can come off in the water rather than being stuck to them. You shouldn't have to cut your guinea pig's hair if it is short hair. Only should you cut your guinea pig's hair if it's long hair and it keeps growing to stop all the mats and bugs and all sorts getting stuck in it. Not that guinea pigs are toys, but you can give them different haircuts like a fringe, a nice bob. You see a lot of different ideas on them just to keep it out their eyes. When you are cutting their hair though, you don't want to use shavers as this can scare them. Okay if your guinea pig's okay with it, but I'd recommend using scissors because they can easily be frightened. Whilst you are grooming your guinea pig, you should also cut their nails if necessary. I only really cut my guinea pig's nails like once every 3 months odd. They don't grow that quick, well mine didn't anyway. Whilst they were outdoors, I didn't have to cut them at all because they were on concrete for some of the time. Whereas when I brought my guinea pigs indoors, they were on fleece, on soft flooring, and the nails weren't being ground down. If you're not going to cut your guinea pig's nails, they're going to get curly and curl into their skin and cause problems. It's going to cause discomfort, maybe infection, and it's going to cost a lot in vet bills. So always keep an eye on your piggy's nails. Also take care when cutting their nails because you should be able to see a red bit in their nails. Mainly white nails, you will only see that because in black nails you've got to take the guess for it and not cut them too short because otherwise you will cut into their cuticle and it is going to hurt. So when cutting them, take care, only take little bits off at a time, and they should only be about that long. They shouldn't be curly at all. In your guinea pig's hutch or cage, you should always offer enrichment to keep them entertained, whether that is from hides, toys, or foraging. It's a natural instinct to go hunting for food for guinea pigs, so if you're going to sprinkle some flowers and leaves on the floor, they're going to go and hunt for it. Some people even put their vegetables that they get fed in the day, they scatter them around so they can go find them. Personally, I put mine in a bowl because it gets messy if they don't find the food and it will go off. It can also help you monitor how much your guinea pig's actually eating, whether they're under-eating or overeating. Wooden toys are always really good for guinea pigs to help ground down their teeth as well, which is one of their health checks I mentioned in the first part of the video. It's something that can keep them busy and it's something fun for them to do. You can get apple sticks as well that are really tasty for them and they will really love them. A lot of them just take the bark off, but I would leave the rest of the stick in there for them to keep nibbling on. Guinea pigs also need access to a hide to feel safe. When they are in that hide, do not take them out. It's their safe place and their place to have alone time. If your guinea pig doesn't come out of their hide most of the time, then they could be nervous or scared for somewhat apparent reason. You don't want to force your guinea pig out the hide, and when forcing them to come out of the hide, they're going to lose trust in you and they're going to be scared of you. Where are they meant to go when they're scared and they don't feel secure? Whether they've heard something or seen something, they're going to run to that safe space. So do not force them out that area. You want to encourage them to come out. Whether they're just a nervous pig, you don't want them staying in their safe space 24/7. You want them having a walk around in their own little world. You can encourage them to come out by talking to them in a sweet voice. I have these two here in my previous pig puffle. They would know when I was near because I would talk to them in a certain tone and they recognise the voice over time. Or even leaving, like I said, just a part of your clothing in there. Obviously, make sure they don't eat it. That won't be good. But getting them used to your scent is a big go-to. They can also be hiding because they're in pain and they're ill. So if they are showing any signs that they are ill like that, then I would take them straight to the vet because they're good at hiding pain. Spot cleaning. So spot cleaning is just brushing up once every day or every couple days to make sure they're not treading on their own poops. Removing any old food, taking out the old peed on hay and replacing it with fresh, replacing the old water with fresh water, everything like that to reset them. So spot cleaning is something you do every day or every couple days, and then you've got thorough cleaning, that is a full clean. Whether you've got shavings, you want to scoop out all them shavings, all the straw, all the old hay, everything to put in the bin and wipe it all down with some antibacterial spray so there's no dirt on the floor. It also stops and helps prevent illnesses. You then want to replace it with all the stuff that was previously there, but obviously clean. With fleece, you just want to shake off the fleece, wipe it all down again, wash the fleece and put some fresh fleece in, and also replace all of their food. I also like moving stuff around in their cage every now and then so it's a different environment for them. Next is breeds. What breed is right for you? And what breeds do you like? So there are shorter hair breeds, which is the smooth guinea pigs that hair doesn't grow. They tend to be more cleanly and easier to look after because they don't need grooming. They may need the odd bathe, but other than that, they tend to be easier to care for, hygienic wise. Apparently each breed also has their own behaviours. I never really noticed it with my pigs. They all had different behaviours anyway, but I think that was just a personality thing. You have like medium hair guinea pigs that are fluffy, but their hair doesn't keep growing. It'll get to a certain length and then stop growing. And these are personally my favourite pigs, as my piggy Puffle was one of these and he was nice and fluffy. I just didn't have to groom him. I just had to bathe him a bit more than my shorter hair because of the pee getting stuck in his hair, but I didn't have to cut his hair. And you also have long hair guinea pigs, which are generally harder to look after hygienic wise because you should always brush through their hair to stop any mats and lugs getting in, and hay and straw can get stuck in their hair, anything can, and they generally need more baths than a short hair will because of their pee and poop getting stuck in their hair. So it's not generally on the looks, you've got to also look at it on the other side, whether you're going to actually give them the requirements they need to take care of their hair. Guinea pigs tend to grow to 8 to 10 inches long, and it depends on their gender, as males tend to grow bigger than females. They also have a wider face and a wider build, and it can also depend on the guinea pig's genetics, whether their parents were quite small pigs, they may turn out to be small pigs, or whether they were quite a big pig. So you want to take into account that when your guinea pig's small, the cage is going to feel bigger, but once they get to fully grown, you may want to make their cage bigger for them because they've outgrown it. This is when I'm going to mention free roaming. Every guinea pig should have free roam. You wouldn't like it if you're trapped in your house 24/7. Same walls, same doors, same floors, everything. So letting them outside or just a little run around your house. I used to let mine run around the house and outside, and my guinea pig Puffle managed to get up the stairs. Depending on the weather, obviously, if it's too hot or too cold outside for your pigs, don't take them outside. Keep them inside, let them have a run around the house, and also keep an eye on them so they don't eat any wires and furniture, but specifically wires, because you don't want your pig to blow up, as brutal as it sounds. But if the weather is suitable for them outside, then put them on some fresh grass that isn't treated, as it can be toxic to them. Put them on the fresh grass, let them run around, and do keep an eye on them in case they escape, because they can fit through small spaces. Generally, pigs will pop corn when they're outside or in an environment they really like. It's a really cute gesture they do, that they jump around, and it's so cute. They may also squeak as well when they do it. It's just something that tells you that your guinea pig is happy. I tend to let my pets free roam from 30 minutes to an hour. With my hamster Connie, it's not as long because she gets fidgety and she does want to go inside. Some animals and guinea pigs are going to be like this because they don't like being out for so long and they want to go back home. But some may not want to go in, like Dusty, and he wants to stay out there forever. Getting on to the second to last topic, which is a water bowl or a water bottle. Personally, I've always used water bottles because in a water bowl, it can be contaminated by fluff, hair, they can even walk through it, and it's just too much of a faff if they knock it over. Whereas with water bottles, it's water that's not going to get stuff stuck in it, and it's just something you got to keep changing for freshness wise. There are some water bottles that leak, and I have a glass one back there that leaks like all the time, unless I screw it onto a certain way, and it won't leak. But I find that plastic bottles don't leak like glass. But the good thing about having a water bowl is that it's a more natural position for them to drink. Whereas with a water bottle, you tend to put it higher so they stretch their neck up to drink, as that's the best way for them to drink with a water bottle. Just as long as it's not too high, as long as they're not bending their neck round to drink, you want them to be stretching their neck rather than bending. And finally, handling, which I was going to include taming with this, but I've mentioned taming with the bonding. Not all guinea pigs like being handled for a long time. Some will love being handled and not want to be put down. When holding your piggy, you don't want to hold them like that all the time. I tend to put mine just here on my arm and just let them sit there, or put them on my lap. I would also recommend holding them on a towel or a pee pad, because it's not a nice warm feeling when they pee on you. Some pigs will get really fidgety to go back and have a wee, but mine didn't. They're just like, oh, this is a good spot, I'll do it now. But that only really happened when I was holding them for so long, because I'd hold my pigs for like an hour, maybe more, because they'd fall asleep. And it's just really sweet when they do fall asleep on you, because it's showing that they trust you. It's a nice way to bond with your pig whilst holding them, and just showing them that you're not going to hurt them and that they're safe in your hands. So first of all, to pick them up, you want to get your hands underneath their belly and scoop them up like that, and then hold them like that. Don't constantly chase your pig around the hutch, because it's going to stress them out. There will be sometimes you will have to do that because they've got a vet appointment, whatever, you need to check them. But generally, don't chase them around because it's quite scary for them. That's all I have to cover for today's video though. I've covered everything I wanted to talk about in the previous video and today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next 2 weeks time there should be some piggy content coming to you, as I'll be making their shed and making it piggy safe. Other than that, I think my next video is going to be based on chinchilla care and chinchilla facts, as I realise I've not done that. If you own a hamster, I do also have a hamster video that's covering their care and facts, just like this one I did for guinea pigs. But other than that, I'd love to see you in my next video.